Alright, so in the previous video I tried to derive arc length in 2 dimensions for a plane curve, but we can extend this to a space curve as long as the derivatives of our space curve exist and are continuous. So let's suppose that we have r of t equal to x of t, y of t, and z of t. Our arc length formula in R2 was the length of the curve, was the integral from a to b. We saw this was the square root of the derivative of x with respect to t squared plus the derivative of y with respect to t squared dt. And we noticed that this, the square root of each derivative squared, was actually the magnitude of our derivative vector, r prime of t. So this was in 2 dimensions. Now in R3, we extend this definition. And we would write that the length of a curve in 3 dimensions, assuming that the derivatives are the derivatives exist and are continuous, will be integral from a to b. We're just going to add a third component to our square root function. So we're going to have dx dt squared plus dy dt squared plus dz dt squared that's all inside the root times dt. And you might also notice that this, if our curve is a space curve, that is the magnitude of the derivative r prime of t. And so we can also write arc length here as the integral from a to b of the magnitude of our derivative r prime of t dt. So there we have our length in 2 or 3 dimensions in this case. So I'm just going to box that because this is an important formula to understand and be able to use. So let's do an example. This is one type of helix. So we have a helix. We want to find the length of the helix from t equals 0 to t equals 2 pi. And the curve is defined by cosine 3t, sine 3t, and 3t. So let's think about finding the derivative vector. So we'll find r prime of t first, then we'll find the magnitude of that vector function, and then we will integrate from t equals 0 to t equals 2 pi to find the arc length. So r prime of t, using the chain rule, will be negative 3 sine of 3t, 3 cosine of 3t, and the derivative of 3t is just 3. Now, we need to find the magnitude of this vector function in order to find the length of the curve. So that's going to be the square root. We could pull out the 3. I'm just going to include it in here for now. Of 9 sine squared 3t, so I'm squaring each derivative and adding 9 cosine squared of 3t, and then plus 9. And you can see in the first 2 terms, if I do factor out a 9, we have 9 times sine squared 3t plus cosine squared 3t, and this is our Pythagorean identity equal to 1. And so this becomes the square root of 9 times 1, or 9 plus 9, or the square root of 18, which is 9 times 2, which is 3 square root of 2. So there is the magnitude of our derivative function. Now, to find the length of the helix from 0 to 2 pi, we'll create an integral from 0 to 2 pi, and this is going to be 3 square root of 2 dt. This is just a constant, so when we find the antiderivative, we'll have 3 root 2 times t, and we're going to integrate from 0 to 2 pi. And when t takes the value of 2 pi, we're going to get 6 root 2 pi. And when t is 0, that's just going to be 0. So we have that the length of our helix from t equals 0 to t equals 2 pi is 6 square root of 2 pi units.